Well, hey guys, how you doing today? Beautiful day today, doing my usual recording on my usual walk. Today, we are going to be talking about something a little conspiratorial. We're going to a little hoo-boo-y today, let's be honest, and straightforward. But I think we're right to be suspicious, and we're right to have a keen eye in regards to Amazon erecting these Amazen booths. I'm sure you've heard of these Amazen booths, where they're putting up a booth so that an employee on their 10 or 15 minute break can go inside of this booth and have what's being called a meditative experience, right? They can get away from it all for the 15 minutes. They can isolate themselves. I mean, anytime I encounter a story like this, especially one that comes from Amazon, I always pause and I think, okay, so how would a sociopath think about this? Why would a sociopath want to do this? Because they're not doing it for the benefit of the employees. That much is clear. They're certainly doing it because they think that they have some kind of in-route. They think they have some kind of way of manipulating the workers. It offers the company something of value. And in my view, it is all about controlling the mood and attitude of the workers. Now, before we go down this deep rabbit hole, and it is going to be a deep rabbit hole with all kinds of wacky theories and things like this, but I think they're well-founded. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, right? Please be sure to hit all the bells, hit all the whistles. Come to my live stream every weekday, 6 to 9 p.m. We have a great community going on. We should support leftist voices. Come on in. Even if you think I'm an idiot, come on in. I love to have conversations with people. I love to have my mind changed, and I'd love to change your mind too. Okay, so diving into this wacky nonsense. So Amazon has erected an Amazen booth. Let's be really clear about what's inside this booth. It's a computer screen where you can select programs, open them up, and it's all obviously going to be Amazon propaganda. Now, most of the commenters that I've heard have said, like, okay, so it's going to be Amazon propaganda. Move on with your life, right? I think this takes a far more sinister tact, and I think it takes a far more sinister tact the moment that you realize that Amazon has deep connections to the CIA, right? As soon as the CIA is involved, guys, you're talking about the most manipulative sociopathic people on the face of the planet. Like, we're talking about a deep, dark cabal of liars who have intentionally structured the system to lie to you on a regular basis. If the CIA is involved, the sociopaths are involved, without a doubt. So, why is the CIA super important in this conversation? Well, if you don't know anything about the CIA, the number one thing that you should know about the CIA is MKUltra. This was a series of studies done through thousands of universities and institutions by the CIA, many of them non-consensual, many of them inflicted on military personnel throughout the United States, which has caused a series of mental health issues, of course, revolving psychedelics, but also studies in hypnosis. Now, hypnosis is an interesting subject to have in the confines of an Amazen booth, right? A person goes inside of a booth, consenting of their own will, interacts with a computer, consenting of their own will, and then starts to, in an effort to improve their mood or have a meditative quality, right? Well, when you start doing research on hypnosis and how it works, or what can be done with hypnosis, you encounter some really terrifying things. Here's a hypnotist who hypnotized someone while they were in the middle of playing a game and then convinced him that he was in the game. Check this out.
Due to a copyright claim, I cannot show this video and have deleted it. Search YouTube for Darren Brown zombie hypnosis to see him hypnotize a man playing a video game in a pub, relocate him to a warehouse while under hypnosis, wake him up, bombard him with actors dressed as zombies and have him freak out. Put him back to sleep, relocate him back to the pub, wake him up, and have him think the whole thing was really, really cool. Hypnotism is real. Sincerest apologies.
So now suddenly you're going to tell me that Amazon workers are going to go into these Amazen booths and interact with screens, and Amazon is not going to try to hypnotize them, is not going to try to do everything they can to delude and confuse or hypnotize people into being convinced that their servitude through Amazon is actually a good thing, while they put them in isolated booths in front of computer screens that we have seen explicitly can and do hypnotize people. And the benefits of hypnotizing a workforce are massive, right? Here's another hypnotist discussing the benefits of hypnotism.
One of the beautiful things about hypnosis is that these people actually have gone, I should actually let this person sit up, they've gone to Switzerland. They're in a very calm, deeply relaxed state. And this state, they're going to feel, if you see them in a few minutes, you're going to see them beautifully energized and calm. And some of the mystery and weirdness around hypnosis causes people to be afraid to even either research it or find out about it or experience it. It has so much potential, and it can really help all of us get to a beautiful place called Switzerland.
So notice what he says here, right? After you're done being hypnotized and you're awoken back up from it, you're filled with this sense of relaxation. You're filled with this sense of calmness, right? So you're an Amazon owner, right? You're Jeff Bezos, and somebody comes along and says, hey, we can put our workers in front of computer screens, put them in a hypnotic trance and a hypnotic state, and when they wake up from that state, after, of course, we've hypnotized them into believing that working for Amazon is the greatest thing ever, they'll be filled with great calmness, great, everything will be great, and they'll just go through the rest of their day and feel really super duper. And so every single time they go into one of these Amazen booths, oh yeah, it'll be so wonderful, and they'll be perfect, compliant workers. Every single time they go into one of these booths, they'll be perfect, compliant workers. Now, I can already hear people saying to me, John, this is highly conspiratorial, right? This is too much, right? Is there any evidence that Amazon is even doing this? Even though, okay, so we have the evidence that they have connections to the CIA. We have the evidence that the CIA attempts to do exactly this kind of stuff all of the time. We have people going into an isolated booth, right, giving their consent to see what is ever on this computer screen. And we have Amazon themselves explicitly stating that the purpose of this is for spiritual and meditative purposes, which I don't believe for a second, neither should you, that the reason a sociopath like Jeff Bezos and Amazon would do this is explicitly to manipulate the workforce. And the moment that you understand that hypnotism is real, that it exists within the human consciousness, that a person can be hypnotized, it becomes very easy to put two and two together and see, oh, clearly a sociopath like Jeff Bezos is going to attempt to do this, at the very least, right? Is going to attempt to ensure that sections of his workforce are completely gulled, completely compliant, and even see something like this Amazon booth as a net benefit to the horror show dystopia that is their day-to-day existence. That when they leave the booth, they feel so much better. Oh, I just feel so much better after being hypnotized by evil corporation Amazon. This is the death of human spirituality, incidentally. This co-opting of spirituality by Amazon, even outside of the hypnosis stuff, even outside of the, we're gonna manipulate your brain on an intrinsic level to hack it in order to convince you that it's great being an Amazon worker. Even outside of that, the co-option of terms like meditation, of terms like these sorts of terms, in order to sell what is an isolation booth, in order to, at the very least, propagandize their own people into believing that working for Amazon is the best. Like, that's actually the best case scenario for Amazon here, that they've erected an isolation booth to cut off workers from their surroundings, Because on their breaks, instead of discussing unionization, they should be staring into a computer screen that's propagandizing them about how good it is to work at Amazon, which is the most manipulative bullshit I've ever heard of in my life, and should, by any rational extent, break any reasonable labor laws that exist. But as we know, the United States doesn't have laws, right? They're just a series of corporations in trench coats pretending like they're society. And the end result of this, even if it's successful on merely on the grounds that Amazon presents, is this culling of spirituality, this culling of any kind of actual intrinsic exploration, and certainly a culling of any kind of direct communication with the staff. Because if you're isolating yourself in little booths that propagandize you, you're not unionizing, you're not talking to each other, you're not actually doing any of that kind of stuff. And hey, if you go into a booth and it's you love Amazon. Amazon is your friend. Amazon works hard for you. We're a big family here in Amazon. When you awaken, you will feel good and happy you're working for Amazon. And then you feel good and you go and you continue working for Amazon. And I am more than a little convinced that it is going to come out that this is exactly what's happening. That someone along the path is going to get a hold of these files. What are they showing these people in these booths? What are they seeing, right? And we're going to find out that it's going to be exactly what I'm talking about. It's an attempt to hypnotize the workers of Amazon in order to placate them and quell dissent amongst their ranks. Because Jeff Bezos has deep ties with the CIA, who has attempted to do exactly what I'm talking about through a program called MKUltra. We know hypnotism exists. And moreover, we know all of those institutions are sociopathic, right? We know that they would absolutely turn us into robots if they could. And something like the Amazen booth is 100% an attempt to do exactly this. Well, that was a fun episode about a conspiratorial thing. Maybe the smoking gun will appear. I'm sure that it will over time. These things generally do manifest themselves. When they do, I'll be sure to put it forward in your face. So, if you're looking forward to that day, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Send this around to your friends and family. We need to be supporting leftist voices. We need to be standing up against sociopaths like Jeff Bezos and the CIA. We need to be working to come together and collectively fight against these forces of rapacious evil. So please be sure to like, please be sure to share, please be sure to subscribe. And guys, under these circumstances, you are all doing really wonderfully, right? There are major corporations who are attempting to do nefarious and evil things and rob you of your spiritual self and manipulate you on intrinsic existential levels, right? We shouldn't let them. We should call them out. We should fight against them. And under these circumstances, you are doing wonderfully. You're making good choices for yourself. You're making good choices for the people who are around you. You are a divine being standing on divine energy. We shouldn't let these guys convince us otherwise. Good luck. We're going to need it.